Hi, welcome back to Glow with Shelly. Today's video is going to be this part 2 of my 10 steps to totally transforming your skin health. So you're going to want to stick around because this video is going to show you those other 5 steps. Remember the first 5 steps in that last video? If you didn't catch it, here's a link to my last video. You're going to want to watch those first 5 steps and then move on to these 5 steps that I'm about to share with you on how to totally transform your skin. So remember, this channel is all about glowing up, transformative skincare, flawless makeup, and a lifestyle to match. If that resonates with you, hit subscribe. Don't forget to ring the notification bell. I want you to know when I post future videos. While you're at it, if you like this content, go ahead and hit that like button. The more I know about the kind of content you like, the more I can bring that content straight to you. Okay, so let's get started. This is the second part of my 10 steps to total skin transformation. And if you didn't get a chance to check out that video, go ahead and check out that video that I did part 1 because it's going to give you those first 5 steps. Now we're going to talk about what are the other 5 steps we can do to totally transform our skin. Now, I remember telling you that I had a lot of skin problems. I think I showed a picture like on my thumbnail, but I didn't get a chance to show a picture in the video. I don't know why I didn't do it, but I want to show you some of my really bad problem areas on my skin. So first and foremost, look at this picture. I had massive like pores, really rough bumpy texture on my skin that you can see in that video. I also had really like hooded eyes, as you can see in this picture. And in this picture, you can see just how saggy my jowls were. So I had a lot of skin problems. Oh, I'm gonna throw up this picture too. So if you check that one out, that will show you how bad my acne scarring was. So I had a whole host of problems with my skin. I was able to fix all of those, but these are really the 10 steps that I incorporated into my lifestyle when I made those changes to my skin. So I want to share with you the other 5 steps. So step number 1. This goes along with a step of facial yoga and facial massage, which I told you you really needed to be doing as well. And it is mewing. Okay. And this also includes working on your posture. And I always say that I'm a whip when it comes to my posture because I do slouch throughout the day, but I try to, anytime I catch myself, like I'm like, oh, no, you need to like sit up straight. You need to roll your shoulders back, relax them. And that's how you should be sitting and not like hunched over like this, which I have a tendency to do. So you want to be sitting with your stomach kind of pulled in a little bit, right? That those ab muscles really probably should be somewhat engaged throughout the day. It keeps your posture straight, it keeps your back straight, and it does make you feel better. But on top of that, you need to be mewing. So what is mewing? And when I say mewing, I kind of mean a whole host of things. So I don't just stop at the proper tongue posture. I'm like, you should have proper back posture, proper tongue posture, and you should be breathing through your nose. It's kind of hard to make the transition if you're a mouth breather to being a nose breather. It took me quite a while to like really master this. But I practice the technique called mewing, and basically it's where you kind of put your teeth together and then you put your tongue on the roof, the back of your tongue on the roof of your mouth, and let your tongue spread out across your palate. And then you press up slightly on that palate, and that is the act of mewing itself. So mewing is supposed to help change your jawline structure. It's supposed to help kind of lift your face, and it's supposed to help kind of sculpt your face. If you see pictures, it makes a lot of sense because if you see pictures of people who are mouth breathers and who don't, you can tell that they don't have that proper like jaw structure. And when I discovered mewing, I was blown away because I was like, wow, could that really change the structure of your face? And I'm an honest believer of mewing. I have noticed how like more chiseled my face looks since I've been doing mewing. And I mean chiseled, like my face used to not be, and of course I like in the pictures, some of the pictures I'm showing you, I was heavier. So you can't really tell because my face is a little bit more rounded in those pictures. But even when I was thin, I still didn't have quite the structure to my face that I have now. And part of that, I do believe, is the facial massage and facial yoga used in conjunction with mewing. So remember, you're resting your tongue up. The back of your tongue should be at the back of the palate in your mouth, and you should be pressing up on that palate, and that is mewing. And all I do is just practice that throughout the day. I make sure that when I'm resting my mouth, it's in that rested phase. And it takes a while to get there. It's gonna feel really awkward at first and really strange at first, but I'm telling you, about a year or so of doing that, maybe 6 months or so of doing that, you're gonna start to see tiny changes. And within a year, you're gonna see some pretty drastic changes, especially in like your jawline and in the tightness of your jawline. Like, I really do believe that it tightens and firms the jaw. So make sure that you are trying that step. And by pushing your tongue on your palate, it really works this kind of muscle down here too, which helps give it that like structure. And I do believe that it also helps, because you are kind of giving your jaw a little bit of a workout, it helps kind of sculpt the cheek area as well. So I definitely am a proponent of mewing, good posture, and nasal breathing. So I try to do this kind of throughout the day. There are devices you can purchase that like work out your jawline. You could also do that if maybe mewing isn't something you want to do. Working out that jawline and this whole like area right here is really going to structure it, tighten it, and make it just look more chiseled in general. So I'll have to link one of the funky tools in the comment box. I have not tried them. I've seen other people try them. They swear by them. I think mewing is just as good as those. I don't really want my jaw to necessarily be like too big and muscly. So like the little tools where you chew on something, that can be great for men where they want that more strong jaw. But so if you're a guy and you really want that chiseled look, I suggest either getting the like mewing gum that's out there. There's some like really hard gum that they sell for that. Or there's little plastic devices that you can kind of bite down on that have springs and are tight. And that also helps strengthen that jaw area. If you're a female, you could do it as well. But like I said, I feel like the tools maybe are a little strong for me. I haven't tried it. I should give it a try. I'm going to give it a try. I'll do a video review on one. So there you have it. Mewing is number one. The second thing you should be doing is nourishing your skin from the inside out. And there's a couple of ways that you nourish your skin from the inside out, and that is by eating a well-balanced, fairly healthy, mostly plant-based diet. So a little bit of back history on me. I'm a huge fan of the plant-based diet. I am not personally vegan. I live almost a vegan lifestyle, but I do eat some meat, and I eat meat broths like chicken broths. Actually, I eat bone broths, but like chicken bone broth, beef bone broth, those kinds of things. I'm not what you would call like 100% vegan. I definitely eat eggs occasionally, but the kinds of foods that are gonna really nourish your skin are things with vitamin C in them. So think oranges and fruits like apples and pears. Really, like any kind of fruit is gonna contain like micronutrients and just things that are really good for your body. So I try to incorporate a couple of oranges into my day every day. They make a great snack. I get the little tiny oranges, the like cuties or whatever, and I just love them. They're so citrusy and they just make me feel good when I eat them. The other thing you should be getting is lots of leafy greens. Believe it or not, leafy greens also contain vitamin C, which is so good for your body. So they contain vitamin A, vitamin C, riboflavin, vitamin K, and plenty of antioxidants, things like Swiss chard, collard greens, kale, cabbage. Another thing that I like to eat is the little microgreens. They have a lot more mineral count and vitamin count than even their larger counterparts. So I always add a little bit on my salad as well in order to try to get those extra nutrients, as many nutrients as I can. All the vegetables and fruits are going to be amazing for your body. So just trying to get as many fruits and vegetables in your system as possible. Things like smoothies, soups, stews, curries. I mean, I do a lot of that, and also whole grains. So when you are eating your grains, they should be whole grains, quinoa, wild rice. I made amazing soup the other day that had, so I put cannellini beans, wild rice, Japanese sweet potatoes, which if you've never had, they're delish, carrots. What else did I put in there, babe? Zucchini, squash,
potatoes,
mushrooms, which I'm a huge proponent of mushrooms. Like, they're so good for your body. They contain so many nutrients. So just trying to get your nutrients from your food as much as possible, using supplements to, I also have a supplement video on the anti-aging supplements that I take, making sure that you get your omega-3s, that you get your vitamin D3, that you get your vitamin K2, that you get a little bit of your collagen. If you are using bone broths, that's going to be great. It's going to give you that collagen, because remember, bone broth is where the bone is actually used in the broth and kind of breaks down. And there's collagen in bone broth. And so I only use bone broth when I'm making soups, stews, curries, anything. That's it. I only use bone broth. And it's amazing. It's going to have super health benefits for you. So just trying to nourish your skin from inside out as much as possible. Taking those supplementations, making sure you're getting those vitamins. And processed food is going to be kind of like it shouldn't be the staple of your diet. It should be like the side note of your diet. Like, guys, I like French fries, okay? I really do. I do like them. I don't choose to eat them often because they're high in oil, they're high kind of in that saturated fat, and they're also just not necessarily the best choice I can make. So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you have to eat clean like all the time. But unfortunately, we do know a lot about processed foods, and some of the chemicals that are in our processed foods are really not good for us at all. They actually can cause DNA damage. Well, if you think about your face, you're accumulating DNA damage. Part of the reason Matrixyl works so well, it's a polypeptide, I believe. The reason why it works so well is it actually clears out a lot of that DNA damage. It actually contains nicotinamide, which is that NAD. Okay, remember I think I've told you before that I take Inamin as well, and it's a precursor to NAD, which is what your body uses to repair and get rid of damaged DNA. So that's the reason why Matrixyl works so well on your skin, is that it clears out that damaged DNA. Unfortunately, processed foods cause damage to your DNA. And there's been a lot of evidence of this recently. Sweeteners, especially like synthetic sweeteners, definitely know that aspartame and the other artificial sweetener. I'm not 100% sure about stevia, so just kind of take that part with a grain of salt. Artificial sweeteners in general are going to cause DNA damage. So trying to just stay away from processed foods as much as possible, trying to stay away from synthetic sweeteners as much as possible. So that's number 2, nourishing your body from the inside out. If you'd like me to share with you what I eat in a day, I'd be totally willing to do that. So just let me know in the comment box if that's a video that you'd like to see. It's something different that I've never done, but I'm always open to your suggestions. So the third thing, what is the third thing that you should be doing? That is drinking tons of water. I cannot stress enough how important water is to your skin health. Wow. I mean, water is amazing. I drink water all day long. I probably drink a lot of water. I drink a lot more than most people probably do. I usually start drinking, so I have my morning coffee, and then after I have my morning coffee, I'll usually start with a big glass of water, and I drink on that for like most of the afternoon. When I come home, I drink filtered water from my refrigerator, and I usually drink at least probably 3 to 4 glasses. And I'm talking, these are pretty big glasses throughout the rest of the evening. So I don't have any, and then sometimes I'll have like a cup of my hot tea, which I really like a lot too. And I do drink coffee in the morning. So, you know, there is that. But really, coffee and tea are it as far as drinks, right? And then that's it, just water, coffee, and tea. I'm not like, guys, don't get me wrong, I'll have an occasional soda, okay? But it's just not something that I drink every day. And I think that is key. Occasionally I'll have like a coffee, like an iced coffee. I had to recently come to terms with my iced coffee addiction. I was drinking them regularly and they had sugar in them. And I didn't realize that I was like drinking sugar pretty much every day. So I had to cut back on that. I was like, okay, I'm only gonna have these little coffee drinks occasionally. I'm not gonna have them all the time because they're just really not good for me. Remember, sugar itself actually causes skin problems. Sugar itself damages your DNA. Sugar also, incidentally enough, causes scarring, can actually cause like tiny chunks to be taken out of your arteries where plaque can build up. Sugar is just really not good for you. I think I told you this, I used to teach college. I'd always try to center my class, even though, because I used to teach writing, I'd always try to center my class on a theme. And one of the themes that I used was like the American food system. And the American food system is pretty messed up. We've got a lot of packaged foods with a lot of sugar in them. So sugar is just really bad for your body, and you want to try to limit it as much as possible. Of course, don't limit your fruit. I'm a huge fan of a doctor called Dr. Lustig. He has a video on sugar on YouTube. You should really check that out. I'll link it in the description box if that's something that you want to see. Dr. Lustig explains just how bad sugar is for your body. And I think he said this, and I may be quoting him wrong, but he said something to the effect of, God packaged the antidote with the disease. So the disease is sugar, the antidote is fiber. I love that quote. And one of the reasons I love that quote is when you're eating your sugar like fruit, like when you're eating your sugar with fiber, it's going to regulate the amount of glucose and fructose, because they're both in fruit, that hit your pancreas. And so it's going to help regulate that, slow down that digestion, and allow you to process that like you should process it, right? Get those micronutrients out of the fruit, get all the vitamins and minerals that are available, and it won't like spike your blood sugar and cause all kinds of problems like a candy bar will. 2 pieces of fruit, a candy bar, I would go with the 2 pieces of fruit. I've had to learn this myself, believe it or not. In my 20s, 30s, I just whatever, I eat as much sugar as I could. But now I really try to control myself when it comes to, it's hard. Sugar's hard. It's a hard thing for me. I have a little bit of a sweet tooth, but I found that fruit really satisfies me. One of my favorite fruits is cotton candy grapes. They taste exactly like cotton candy to me. And I really do enjoy those. Okay, so what's the other thing you need to be doing? That's number 4, is to get some light physical activity. If I can say one thing, physical activity is amazing for your skin. Physical activity daily actually helps tighten the skin, firm the skin, and tone it while you're working out. So skin health and working out kind of goes in tandem. And so for most people, you should be getting some form of light aerobic activity. My favorite thing in the world is walking. I wake up every morning and I walk, and I love it. It elevates my mood. It makes me feel happy, and I don't have a good day if I don't walk. And I don't really walk to like lose weight or anything. It's something that I started doing during COVID, and I really enjoy it. I used to be kind of like a long time ago, I used to be pretty hardcore in the gym. I like to do a lot of weightlifting, a lot of sprinting, running, things like that. But as I get older, and I'm 47, I tend to be a little bit lighter on that. I don't tend to want to go as heavy. I do like to jog still. I love, love, love walking. I love walking uphill. Especially, I think it's so good for your body. It's great for your abdominals, get your blood flowing, and probably one of the activities that I say is the best activity for anyone. I mean, everyone can walk, and I was listening to a podcast by a doctor, and he was talking about like the one thing that if I was to give to you the recipe to cut all of your chances of dying by 50%, this is the one thing that I would do. I would tell you to walk 30 minutes a day. That's going to cut your chance of dying by 50%. That's huge, right? Just some form of moderately vigorous activity is going to help you. So also you should be incorporating a little bit of weightlifting. Remember, when you kind of put stress on the body, it helps your body respond better to outside stressors. So part of the way your body responds is with repairing. The principle behind lifting weights is, right, you stretch and rip that muscle, and then it repairs and it gets stronger. It builds stronger as it repairs. So you want to be doing a little bit of weightlifting. I don't lift like super heavy weights, but I do a little bit of weightlifting during the week. I do it a couple of times a week. And then things like dancing are going to be really good for you. Yoga, things like that. These are all things that I incorporate into my own kind of routine. And I usually start with about 30 to 45 minutes of activity in the morning. I like to do my stuff in the morning. Okay, so what is number 5? Number 5 is my creme de la creme, the cherry on top of this sundae, and that is collagen induction therapy. Y'all know how I love my collagen induction therapy. I say you should be medical microneedling or cosmetic needling. If you're medical microneedling, you should be doing it once a month. Okay, only, don't overdo it, especially if you're looking at 0.75 or above, and you should be doing that once a month. You should probably also be cosmetic needling at least 1 to 2 times a week, possibly even more. You could do it 3 times a week if you want, but that is needles at a lower depth. I've got a video on microneedling right here that I'll link up here, all the benefits of it. It is transformative to the skin. I microneedled the entire, like when I was, my full transformation, I microneedled once a month, like for at least 2 to 3 years. And I'm not kidding. Like I microneedled regularly. That was a big one for me. And I started with a 0.5 millimeter, and I did that probably once every 2 weeks. I did that for quite a while. And then I moved up to like a 1 millimeter needle, and I did that once a month. So, and I kept doing that all like over and over again. I was constantly incorporating medical needling into my routine. I also did a tiny bit of cosmetic needling. I know I've said I didn't really do it before. I did do it a little bit. I just didn't do it regularly. I would do it like once and then like maybe wait a couple weeks and do it again. But you can do that 1 to 3 times a week. Dr. Lance Sutterfield says that you could potentially do it every day. Wouldn't go that far, but 1 to 3 times a week is great for cosmetic needling, and once a month is wonderful for microneedling. Remember, you have to have time for that collagen to build back and repair, but that is going to do so much for your skin. It's going to increase your collagen and elastin production. It's going to tighten your skin. It's going to improve the texture of your skin. It is going to give you smoother, more radiant skin. It is going to get rid of fine lines and wrinkles. So medical microneedling and cosmetic needling are both fabulous tools for you to transform your skin, but you have to do them. And so remember, I talked about consistency on my last video, and I just want to stamp that. I know I've given you the 5 tips, but remember, you have to do it or it won't work. And you really have to do it all the time. I'm going to be releasing another video about how to stay consistent in your skincare routine. So let me know what you think about these 10 tips. There you have it. Those are the last 5. I really enjoy doing this, and I'll see you next time on Glow with Shelly.